You are watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftatacademy.com. www.netsoftatacademy.com.
All right, so welcome to the final video in our Azure Virtual Desktop series. Today, we will focus on how to effectively manage your AVD environment and follow some best practices to keep it running smoothly and cost efficient. So let's get started. Now, any good administrator must know multiple ways or multiple methods to interact with the environment. So here, there are several tools one can use to manage AVD, that is Azure Virtual Desktop. Well, the most recommended tool is the Azure Portal, which gives a very user-friendly graphical interface from where you can create, manage, and also terminate your environment. Well, you can also use PowerShell. That can be the PowerShell on your computer if you install the Azure module in it, or it can be the PowerShell in the Azure Cloud Shell environment. Now, this PowerShell or CLI environment is ideal for automation and advanced tasks. Well, one can also use third-party tools like Grafana for monitoring, Nargio, and any other third-party tool which the administrator is familiar with. Now, this can further simplify management for larger environment. Remember, using the right tool helps streamline your management process in the long run. Now, what tasks do you think the administrator will perform using PowerShell or Azure Portal? Well, there are many tasks, but some of the regular tasks are adding or removing session host as your user base grows or shrinks, or updating virtual machine images to ensure that your desktop have the latest patch and up-to-date applications installed on it, or simply providing user support for connection or performance issues, means troubleshooting it. Or maybe just staying on top of these issues which actually may come in the future. That means proactively monitor your environment to make sure that all the machines are working at their optimal level. Well, there might be more tasks which an administrator might do on a regular basis, but these were just few of the examples. Now let's talk about cost. For any organization, managing cost is super important. Here are some key strategies which can be used by the administrator to manage the overall cost of the environment. Well, here the administrator can look into a service called reserved instances. Well, the administrator can go for reserved instances for more predictable workloads to save money in the long run. Or the administrator can go for the route of scaling the session host. Well, you can scale down the session host during off hours or scale up during the demand so that you do pay more during the peak hours, but you save a lot of money during off-peak hours. Plus, the administrator can start monitoring resource usage to avoid paying for any ideal capacity or ideal resource which no one is using. You can only find out if a resource is not being used if you monitor the usage. Now, there are many more tips and tricks with which you can save the cost, but using all those methods will just give you the ability, or I will say the opportunity, to get the most out of your investment without overspending. Now, next, let's talk about maintaining your virtual machine images, which is also very critical for consistency and security. Here, your organization can create a golden image with all the required softwares and updates pre-installed in it, or you can say pre-baked in your golden image. Plus, also remember to regularly update and test your image in a sandbox environment before deploying it to your actual new session host. Doing this will help avoid unexpected issues and keeps your desktop well standardized or uniform across users. All right, so now let's assume that your environment is perfectly healthy and running smoothly. But what about natural disasters or intentional sabotage? Well, in this case, you have to keep your backup and disaster recovery mechanism in check. Here, you have to protect your environment, in which you can use Azure Backup Services or Azure Business Continuity Services, which lets you back up the full-fledged session host VMs. Or you can also back up your user profiles. Now, if something goes wrong with the VM, you can quickly restore it. Or let's say your user deleted the data. Well, you can restore the data as well. Now, how about you use the zone redundancy service of Azure to protect against data center outage? Here, you can put your services in multiple data centers. If one data center is down, at least your services are still running and user can still use it. So make sure that you have a disaster recovery plan to quickly restore services in case of any failure. All right, so let's walk through a quick demo to see how some of the services we discussed can be implemented. And we'll also show you how simple it is to actually work with Azure environment. All right, now let's check how you can update your image, or maybe how can you increase the size of the machine. Basically, how can you maintain your session host from the backend? So if we go to our virtual machine, as you can see, both machines are running here. If you want to increase the size of the machine, make it more powerful. Let's say you have more employees and they are sharing the machine, and the machine cannot provide enough resources for your employees' task. So you have to go to your machine, then you will search for size. And this is where you can change the size of the machine. But before you do that, you must go to AVD, then go to host pool, and click on the host pool in which you have your session host, those session hosts on which you will be working, you will be maintaining it. Then you go to your session host, then select the machine you will be working on, and then turn on the drain mode. Once your drain mode is on, eventually there will be no sessions on it. All the sessions will be drained. And then you can go ahead and maintain that machine. No user will be actively using that computer anyhow. So once the drain mode is active and there is no session, zero session, then you go to the machine. And when you want to change the size, it is, recommended to first stop the machine. Once it is stopped, then you will go to size. Select whatever size you want. According to your scenario, select that and click on resize. That's how easy it is to resize your machine. Now, what about the updates? Well, if you click on the machine and search for updates under operation, this is where you can see all the scheduled update. I'm using Windows 10 that is not currently supported for patch management. Windows 10 is actually discontinued. If you have Windows 11, yeah, then you can update it. You can also select one-time update if you want. You select your machine and then click Next. Select the updates you want. Here you will see the list of it. Click Next. Then you will say Reboot if required. Then click Next and push the updates or install it. When you push the update, don't turn off the drain mode immediately. First, when the updates are done, quickly check the machine for its stability, means if all the updates are properly installed or not. Once you are happy with the machine and the machine looks healthy, then you can go ahead, go to host pool, click on session host, start the machine, and then turn off drain mode. Okay,
turn off drain mode. When you turn off your drain mode, the machine will eventually show up here as green check mark, means you can connect with that machine. At this point, the machine is still booting up. So that's a simple step to update your machine, and also how to turn on and turn off your drain mode. But in most scenarios, you will not update machine one by one like this, the way I showed you. You should use Intune and enroll all the machines to it. From just one dashboard of Intune, you can manage updates on all the machines.
Well, thanks for watching this Azure Virtual Desktop series. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe for more tech tutorials, and leave a comment in the comment section. If you have any question, put it there. I will be happy to read all the questions and answer it with the best of my abilities. I will see you in the next series. Till then, take care.
Thank you for watching NetSoft IT Academy. 905-812-2923. info@netsoftatacademy.com. www.netsoftatacademy.com.